Hello and welcome back inside Regency Furniture Stadium for another day of Blue Crabs baseball. We head into today's ballgame hosting the Sugarland Skeeters, making their way all the way from Sugarland, Texas to join us here in Waldorf, Maryland. Today's game will feature a couple of pitchers and a couple of games, giving you the starting pitching crew for each team in just one moment. Tumo Cubo, the pitcher for the Sugarland Skeeters, who come into today's ballgame with a 17-9 record in the second half. The Blue Crabs put Brett Marshall on the mound, a former Sugarland Skeeter who has a 9-15 record on the season. Marshall comes in on the year with a record of 2-4. Excuse me for some technical difficulties, if any are occurring, but Marshall has a record of 2-4 with a 4.38 ERA. Cubo comes in with a 1-0 record, 2.59 ERA. We'll be right back after this national anthem. Welcome back inside Regency Furniture Stadium. My deepest apologies for a couple of technical difficulties to start the evening. But now that we're underway, it's time for some Blue Crabs baseball live from Waldorf, Maryland. The Blue Crabs host the Sugarland Skeeters. This is the first of a three-game set. Today will feature two games, a doubleheader. The first game will be led off by Tumo Cubo on the mound for the Skeeters. And Brett Marshall, the former Skeeter, will be on the bump for the Blue Crabs. A 2-4 record with a 4.38 ERA in his time in a Blue Crab jersey. And game two, the only southpaw to start a game today, will be Craig Sitton for the Skeeters. He comes in with a 2-0 record, a 4.21 ERA, and he's opposed by right-hander Craig Stem, 5-4, 3.06 ERA for the Blue Crabs this season. That brings us into the top of the first inning. This game was scheduled to be played last night, and rain made it so that was unable to happen. The grounds crew, who does a phenomenal job, did everything in their power to make last night playable. Unfortunately, it was not, but tonight it is, as the first pitch has been thrown, and Barrett Barnes fouls it off to the left side, strike one. Barnes, the leadoff hitter, he plays center field for the Skeeters. Marshall, the former Skeeter, rocks, fires, and throws a changeup upstairs that'll even the count at 1-1. Barnes awaits the Marshall pitch. He's working fast and out of the windup. Another changeup, this time catching inside. 1-2 the count to Barnes. Barnes just a 259 record, make that average, but that doesn't tell the whole story, as they'll foul one back, 1-2 still the count. He's got some serious pop in his bat for a leadoff hitter especially. Center fielder has 9 home runs, 36 RBIs, and he has the 4th most runs scored in the league, so realistically he does his job as a leadoff man. Marshall's got his sign, now comes home with the 1-2, a change up in the dirt. 3 of them in a row, and the 3rd one retires Barnes on strikes. First strikeout of the evening for Marshall. Next batter to come off to face his former teammate, Anthony Jansanti. Jansanti batting .293 on the year, 13 home runs and 39 RBIs. Marshall working quick today, doing a good job keeping that pace steady. He knows he's got fielders behind him that'll be playing 14 innings, and a line shot sent to center field. An outstretched glove finds a ball in the back of it. Corey Vaughn, the man to do the job. 2 retired pretty quickly here in this top of the 1st. That brings up Derek Norris, the designated hitter for these Sugar Land Skeeters. Norris does some catching, and he also does some designated hitting, the latter his role in tonight's ballgame. Have to imagine you might see him in the shin guards in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Last team Norris played for, the Tampa Bay Rays. He'll take strike 1, make that ball 1 on the inner half. Norris has a storied history in his time in the MLB, as Marshall looks in once more for his sign. This ball misses well high, 2-0 the count, but you can see kind of on that broadcast right now that Norris has a very trimmed beard. That was not always the case. Derek Norris was a guy that was in a competition for best beard in all of Tampa Bay sports back in his time as a Rays. He'll loft one over the third baseman, Frank Martinez. It'll roll in the corner. Teodoro picks it up. Norris slides into second base with a standing double, make that. So a 2-out double for Derek Norris, who continues to hit those 2-baggers. That now puts him 3rd in the league for most doubles on the season with 20. 2 down, 1 in scoring position brings up Courtney Hawkins. Hawkins has some serious pop in his bat. Hawkins in 80 games played has 71 RBIs, 18 home runs, both of which are good for best in the Atlantic League. Curveball on the inner half. Brett Marshall gets it to go by for strike number 1. You have to imagine the Skeeters have a good game plan against Marshall, being that he was a Skeeter for 3 years himself. Marshall comes home with the 0-1, chopped foul, and 0-2 the count to Hawkins. You have to imagine that would come back to possibly pay dividends for the Skeeters, both on the base paths and from a hitting perspective. You may know how Marshall maybe times up runners on the base paths. Not to mention, you may be accustomed to his pitch patterns, the way he goes after certain types of hitters, etc. Marshall comes home with the 0-2, skips one in the dirt in the opposite batter's box, and that makes the count 1-2 to the power hitting Hawkins. Hawkins a .287 hitter on the year, hitting .412 over his last 19. It's a pretty long stretch to be north of 400, looking to get him back down in those 300s is Marshall. He'll have to wait one more pitch as another ball's bounced on the outside corner, 2-2 the count. A lot of 2s on the scoreboard, folks. We sit with a runner on second after a double at 2-2 count with 2 down to number 12, Courtney Hawkins. A look back to second. Now Marshall comes home with the pitch. A curveball hangs a little bit, but Hawkins unable to make Marshall pay. The count will stay right where it was at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned that Norris now sits 3rd most in the Atlantic League in doubles. Hawkins is right up there with him. He currently came into this game tied for 9th in doubles in the league with 17. Hawkins hits one over the left side. Garcia gets a big hop and swings it across the infield. Devin Rodriguez at first base gobbles it up for out number 3. That leaves 1 runner on base. That came on a double from Derek Norris. No runs scored and no errors in the inning for the Blue Crabs. And Brett Marshall is able to work around, a 2-out double. That puts us through half an inning of baseball. Teodoro Martinez, Edwin Garcia, and Devin Rodriguez set up for the Blue Crabs when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. I'm pleased to welcome you back inside Regency Furniture Stadium. I'll take you into the bottom of the first inning. The Blue Crabs' first at bat set up in this bottom of the first, and it comes against Yasutsumo Kubo, the pitcher on the evening for the Skeeters. Kubo in his second start comes in with a 1-0 record, a 2.59 ERA. Teo lifts one high over to the left side, but foul, strike one. Teo on the season, a 294 hitter, 1 home run and 24 RB. You don't need a whole lot of power out of your leadoff guy as long as he's getting on base, and get on base he does. He's especially good at home, hitting just around 370 when he's at Regency Furniture Stadium. 1-1 the count to Teo after a very slow Bugs Bunny type changeup will miss on the inner half. Kubo, 38 years old. He's a guy that figures out how to get guys to miss. He has 1,000 strikeouts through 1,500 innings pitched in his professional career. His one's hit right back to Kubo. He theatrically will await the throw over to first base, and an interesting 1-3 putout is the first Blue Crabs out of the day. Edwin Garcia, the next batter to come up, the shortstop, wears number 9 on the back of his jersey, and he's got to be happy. He got a little bit of rest yesterday with the rain out that we saw. He plays in almost, if not every single game for the Blue Crabs, and he does a phenomenal job doing so. Kubo steps off. He wants to sign one more time from his catcher, Cordero, which gives us a good chance to run through the whole lineup for these Skeeters. Excuse me, the whole defensive lineup. After this pitch from Kubo, he'll take a long pause and come home with the pitch. Garcia takes on the outer half for strike number 1. Looking at the field behind Kubo, you've got Hawkins in left field, Barnes in center, and Dennis Phipps in right. From left to right in the infield, Juan Silverio, Avera Randone, Anthony Jansanti at second base, and at first, Matt Chavez. Cordero behind the dish. He calls for a fastball down low. He gets it. Garcia chops it into the dirt. We find ourselves with an 0-2 count. Garcia really doing well this season when he's facing off against Sugarland. In 10 games, he's hitting .375. He'll await the Kubo delivery. The leg lift and the pitch home. This one chopped over to the left side, giving chase and coming in on its Rondon. He'll give it a nice throw across the infield to Chavez, who puts away Garcia for out number 2. Back-to-back ground outs find the Blue Crabs down to their last out here in the first inning. Got a whole lot of baseball coming your way today. 14 innings scheduled of baseball from the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network, and the next batter to come up, Devin Rodriguez. Now, the last time the Blue Crabs had a scheduled 14-inning doubleheader, it didn't turn out to do quite that. Almost 10 innings more were played as we saw 9 extra innings of baseball in the first half of that doubleheader. As Rodriguez fouls one off to the left side, it took 16 innings to find a winner in that first half of the doubleheader. Devin Rodriguez sent a shot to the right field side. It found its way for an RBI double to walk off that ball game. Cubo ready for the 1-0. He'll miss on the inner half, and working ahead, make that evening up the count, as Devin Rodriguez won the count to the first baseman. Rodriguez is a guy that's known for walk-offs. Back at his time at the University of California, Berkeley, he hit to advance them out of the Super Regionals and into the College World Series. Nothing happening here as he'll line one out to left field. Courtney Hawkins puts him away for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base for the Blue Crabs. Sends us into the top of the second inning, where Brett Marshall will head back to the bump to keep this game tied at 0-0. Don't go anywhere, because we'll have it right here for you on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is Brandon Compton, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
Pet lovers, kick off the Labor Day holiday right and join the Blue Crabs on Sunday night, September 2nd for our final Bark in the Park night of the season. The game has a special start time of 6:35, and the first fans through the gates receive Blue Crabs dog collars brought to you by... Call 301-638-9788 or visit somdbluecrabs.com for more information.
Welcome back to Waldorf, Maryland. Andrew Banstra taking you through the top of the second inning of baseball played. Matt Chavez, the first batter to come up in this top of the second. His first at bat of the day will come against his former teammate, Brett Marshall. Marshall had a good first inning. He allowed a 2-out double from Derek Norris, but it came to no abolition as the first pitch will miss upstairs for ball number 1 to Matt Chavez. Marshall with a long look in as he'll have to await Chavez's antics outside of the box. Chavez make that. Marshall comes home with a good slider that'll catch the inner half, evening the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Chavez has the 4th best batting average in all of the Atlantic League. The only Skeeter with an average north of 300 comes into this ballgame hitting .331. A sinker works its way on the inner half, and we find ourselves with a 1-2 count in favor of your pitcher, Brett Marshall. Setting the defensive alignment for the Blue Crabs, Teodoro Martinez in left, Corey Vaughn in center, and Angelo Sacco in right. And swinging through strike number 3 was Matt Chavez. That the second strikeout of the day for Marshall, both coming off to lead off his respective first and second innings. From left to right in the infield, Frank Martinez at third base, Edwin Garcia at shortstop, Angelis Nina at second, Devin Rodriguez at first. Behind the plate, making his first start since June 8th, is Jose Gonzalez and Brett Marshall, the pitcher. A well-placed fastball finds himself working ahead, does Marshall. 0-1 the count to Juan Silverio. Marshall establishing the inner half with a fastball. That'll even the count at 1-1 strike. Silverio, the third baseman for the Skeeters, as he prepares for the 1-1 pitch from Marshall. A dancing curveball will work its way on the outside half, and Marshall had nothing to do but just smile from ear to ear after fooling his former teammate on that pitch. Silverio waits the 1-2. This chopped over the left side. Martinez gets it on a couple of hops, and he'll give it across the infield for out number 2. You gotta love seeing that in the game of baseball. Former teammates and friends having fun playing each other. If you didn't see it last night, 2 longtime MLB veterans, Felix Hernandez for the Mariners and Adrian Beltre for the Rangers, were playing each other. And a incredibly good curveball from Hernandez had Beltre looking foolish at the plate, and Hernandez could do nothing but just double over and laugh about it. It's one of those fun things you like to see in baseball, as long as it's not with bad intent, as the ball will be lofted to the left side off the bat of Albert Cordero. Theodora Martinez puts it away for out number 3, and Brett Marshall has his first 1-2-3 inning of the evening. When we come back on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network, it's 4-5-6 to up. That means John Griffin, Frank Martinez, and Angelo Sanco. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Are you looking for the latest and best in Blue Crab's gear? Look no further than the newly redesigned and restocked Crab Shack Team Store, anchored by EC Sports. The Team Store features everything from old favorites like game replica hats and t-shirts to novelty items and collectibles. You can visit our Team Store anytime 9 to 5, as well as during all home games. The Team Store is also available online by visiting somdbluecrabs.com and clicking the Store tab.
Hey fans, this is Craig Stem, pitcher for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Make sure you come out every Thursday for Foster's Grill Wings and Beer Night. For just $30, you can enjoy a ticket to the game and 2 hours of all-you-can-eat Foster's Wings and all-you-can-drink beer in the Legends Clubs from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. For more information, please visit our website at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788.
Are you looking for the best place to entertain your group, large or small, this summer? Look no further than the Blue Crabs at Regency Furniture Stadium with our newly renovated Luxury Suites and Legends Club, as well as our brand new Party Suite. Our luxury suites have all new amenities and are sure to please your group, while our clean, upscale Legends Club can host up to 160 guests for a game or anytime. New for 2018, the Blue Crabs are excited to announce our brand new Party Suite for groups up to 50 guests. It's double the space for double the fun for double the group, just $20 per person. Call Group Sales at 301-638-9788 to book your group today.
Hey, this is Devin Rodriguez, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back inside Regency Furniture Stadium. We head into the bottom of the second inning with the score all knotted up at 0-0. John Griffin has the type of power that can change that in one swing of the bat, and he steps up to the plate here in the first batter of the Blue Crabs' second inning. He'll lift one deep to right center field, giving chase all the way to the track will be Barnes, and he'll catch it a couple of feet shy of the deepest part of this field in right center. John Griffin sent that one an absolute roller coaster to the fence. Didn't have quite the power here on this calm day in terms of wind in southern Maryland. One down and a loud one at that brings up Frank Martinez. Martinez, 303 batting average on the year. That's good for 10th in the Atlantic League. Cubo comes home with his first pitch. It'll catch downstairs. Strike number 1. Yasutomo Cubo just came over to play in American professional baseball for the first time in his career a couple of weeks ago. as he'll get Frank Martinez to swing over a changeup 0-2 the count. He was signed by the Gary South Shore Railcats of the American Association after 18 years in the Japanese Nippon League as a curveball will bounce in the dirt 1-2 the count. He was then traded to Sugarland, who obviously in a different independent baseball league, but regardless, he was traded, and he has some serious numbers to show for it, as we'll get that to you right after this pitch. Ball fouled off to the right side, 1-2 still the count. But Yasutomo Kubo, he was an absolute star in his time in Japan. He was the Rookie of the Year in the Japan Pacific League, which is a division, maybe it's kind of like the Freedom and Liberty divisions in the Atlantic League, as Frank Martinez awaits the 1-2. This one drilled into right center field. It won't quite get in the alley, but it does get down for the first Blue Crabs hit of the ball game. And if you were going to ask me who would have had the first hit, I probably would have said Frank Martinez would be a likely character. The batting average definitely shows it, and that brings up Angelo Sanko. But to finish the story, he had some serious celebrity status almost in Japan. He was written about by the Japan Times. He was in a movie called Dugout, and excuse me for any mispronunciation. It was called Dugout no Muko Ima Wu Ikuro to Iakuto. And I tried to find the translation of that. It did not go through. So I don't know what that means. If anybody does know what that means, please feel free to comment. But a big star in his time in Japan was Kubo, as the first pitch will cross. Sanko, a star of his own. He had 24 home runs. It's good for third best in the Atlantic League last year with the Long Island Ducks. He'll chop this one foul, count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. In elite class is Yamasumo Kubo, just give you some names that were also former Rookie of the Years. Now, Kubo was the Rookie of the Year in the Japan Nippon League in 2005. In 1990, Hideo Nomo was the Rookie of the Year. In 1999, Koji Uehara was the Rookie of the Year. As a potential double play ball is squandered by a misplay at first, Matt Chavez unable to come up with the ball cleanly. And if that would have been a double play, it could have ended the Blue Crabs half of the inning. Instead, you extend it to the last guy you ever want to extend it to in the form of Corey Vaughn. Vaughn has 12 home runs on the year, 28 RBIs. The 12 home runs, good for 11th in the Atlantic League. But a couple more names. Koji Uehara, as I said, in 1999. Daisuke Matsuzaka, a World Series winner. I say that they were both in 1999 because one in the Central Division in the Nippon League, one in the Pacific, and then in 2007, Masahiro Tanaka of the New York Yankees. Set of the belt is Kubo. He'll take a look back at second. Now coming home with the pitch, and a curveball will miss on the outer half. The count runs to 0-1 to the power-hitting Vaughn. Kubo, not necessarily a guy that's going to blow you away with his velocity. Instead, he's got some incredible movement on his pitches. He's already displayed that early in this ballgame as he'll take a look back at second. Martinez shortens the lead. And ball 2 misses outside. Ball 1, 1-1 the count to Vaughn. Kubo's got some pitches that dance all over the strike zone. He's already fooled a couple of Blue Crabs. And that's not anything against the Blue Crabs. You just don't see movement like that as much in American baseball as you do in Japanese baseball. Couple of looks back, and now Frank Martinez likes his lead. This ball ripped into left field. That's got to score a run. Coming around to score is Frank Martinez, and he'll cross with no arguments made about it by the Skeeters. Corey Vaughn unable to get to second base, and that says something because he's got some real wheels. Cutting it off was Courtney Hawkins in left. Nonetheless, the first run crosses, and it comes in favor of the Blue Crabs here in the bottom of the second. That the 29th RBI on the year for Corey Vaughn. That brings up Angelise Nina. And like I said, you don't want to extend the at-bat to Vaughn. You really don't want to extend it to Angelise Nina. Nina, a guy who has a great story, as he'll dig in for his first pitch from Cubo. He came in from the New Britain Bees after he was traded. Before he was traded, he was hitting 169 as a Bee. He's hitting a whopping 311 in a Southern Maryland uniform. Talk about completely turning the season around. If 311 was his complete season average, he'd be in the top 10 as opposed to south of 200. He'll lift a ball high into left field. That should stay in the stadium. Courtney Hawkins is going to almost lose it in the sun, but ends up getting under it for out number 3. Not before the Blue Crabs can crack the scoreboard with the first run of the night. Comes on an RBI single from Corey Vaughn, who scores Frank Martinez. We're through 2 here in Southern Maryland, and Brett Marshall looking to continue to be dominant against his former ball club. And we'll have it right here for you when we return on your Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Blue Crabs fans, come celebrate the bluest birthday of them all on Friday night, August 17th. It's Pinch's birthday party with appearances by all of Pinch's mascot friends. After the game, stick around for a post-game cupcake drop brought to you by Pump It Up of Waldorf. That's right, cupcakes raining out of the sky from the outfield with prizes for some lucky contestants. For more information, visit somdbluecrabs.com/promotion or call 301-638-9788.
Hey kids, this is Daryl Thompson from the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Don't forget, every Sunday is Kids Day at the ballpark, brought to you by Waldorf Orthodontics. Every Sunday home game, kids can enjoy a pregame autograph session with me and other players, $3 ice cream helmets all day long, and free admission to Pinch's Playground. Post-game, you can all come on the field and run the bases. For more information, please visit our website at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788.
Hey, this is Casey Delgado, and you're listening to Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back inside Regency Furniture Stadium. Andrew Banstra here to take you into the top of the 3rd inning of baseball played. The Blue Crabs were hitless in the 1st inning. That completely changed in the 2nd when a pair of hits brought home the first run of this ballgame. And Brett Marshall continues to be as good as you can get, especially in what's got to be an emotional game against a team he played for 3 seasons. First pitch will miss inside. Pitch comes at the face of the batter, Dennis Phipps. I shouldn't quite say the face, but up and in. As the ball will once again come up and in. The count 2-0 to Phipps. This game is going to go one of 2 ways. Either to attack his former teammates, or his former teammates are going to know how to attack him. To this point, it seems to be the first one, as Marshall has only allowed 1 hit. That a 2-out double from Derek Norris back in the 1st. Back-to-back strikes, one of them swung through, even the count to Dennis Phipps, 2-2. Marshall out of the windup. This ball lined over to the right side. Edwin Garcia gets it after it bounces off of Frank Martinez's glove. And they're going to give Dennis Phipps a hit. So a single will lead off the top of the 3rd inning. And that gives it to the last batter in this Skeeter lineup, Alvaro Rondon. Rondon's numbers don't jump off the page. Now, they're pretty good, but 282, no home runs, 32 RBIs. He's been especially dominant when it comes against the Blue Crabs, though. 379 when he's playing against Southern Maryland in 10 games. He'll try to lay down a drag bunt and fouls off the bottom of his bat, and he finds himself behind in the count. No balls and 1 strike. The batter that preceded Rondon was a former teammate on the Laredo Lemurs of the American Association back just a couple of years ago, that not too far from Sugar Land, Texas, where the Skeeters play as a tailor-made double play ball is botched by Angelis Nina. You can't say it's his fault, though, as he runs right into a runner. That's going to be called an error on Nina, but it's a tough play for Nina to make. He runs right into the play, and I agree, you got to give Rondon a hit there, but at the same time, it's just unfortunate for Nina as he gets ran into right as he is able to gobble up the ball. And that puts two runners on here with none down, and the top of the lineup comes back in the form of Barrett Barnes. Barnes struck out swinging his first time up. That one of two strikeouts on the ledger for Marshall on the day. 1-0 the count as a slider misses on the outside corner. Marshall was traded about the halfway point in the season from the Skeeters to the Blue Crabs. Since joining the Blue Crabs, he's got a 2-4 record with a 4.38 ERA as ball 2 crosses. Barnes hitting .259 on the year, .270 on the road. But in favor for the Blue Crabs, he's hitting just .185 against this Southern Maryland team. Marshall's 2-0 pitch misses outside, 3-0 the count to the leadoff hitter Barnes. Mentioned that both Phipps and Rondon played in Laredo, not too far from Sugar Land. Well, Barrett Barnes has really got some hometown connections. He's a Sugar Land, Texas native. Ball 4 will miss upstairs. Ball 4. As 4 straight will put the third runner of the inning on in the form of Barrett Barnes. A single led off this inning. It was a diving effort by Frank Martinez. He was unable to come up with it. And then Angelis Nina got ran into. That was an error on him. And now a walk. So that's just got to hurt if you're Brett Marshall, because realistically, you flip a dime and that play either could or could not have been made. Now, they were fantastic efforts by both the Blue Crabs. It's just one of those plays. Sometimes you're going to make a spectacular play and sometimes you're not. First pitch, Jan Santi sees fouled off to the right side. 0-1 the count to the second baseman. Jan Santi, .293 on the year, 19 make that 13 home runs and 39 RBIs. As did everybody, Jan Santi got the day off yesterday after a rainout. Halted play for the Blue Crabs and the Skeeters. That's why we've got a doubleheader in store for you today from Southern Maryland, as a strike will cross. 0-2 the count to Jan Santi. Jan Santi has a batting average that ranks him second on the team, .293, aforementioned. As Marshall will prepare and give himself a strategy as to how to attack his former teammate. He'll bounce one in the opposite batter's box. Seeing him do that a couple of times on 0-2 this evening. Seeing if he can't get guys to chase. Jan Santi hitting just .186 on the year with runners in scoring position. And he is 0 for on the season with the bases loaded. So Marshall, that kind of gives you some confidence knowing that you played with this guy for a while, Jan Santi, and you know that he struggles in these type of situations. This ball ripped over to the right side. Nina unable to come up with it. 1 run will score. The second coming home. Here comes a line shot from Nina. And the throw home will be botched by the catcher, Jose Gonzalez. So a base hit will score 2 runs off the bat of Anthony Jan Santi. Another very tough play for Angelis Nina to make, but yet again another one that could go either way. So 3 ground balls spell 2 base hits and an error for the pitcher Brett Marshall, and he finds himself in a little bit of trouble here with 2 runs so far in this second inning, none down and 2 on. That brings up Derek Norris, the only Skeeter to have a hit off him prior to this third inning. He had a double with 2 down back in the first. Marshall's first pitch to Norris, hit hard over to the left side, but foul. 0-1 the count to the former Tampa Bay Ray. That double back in the first gave Norris the mark for third best in terms of doubles hit on the season. That is 20th, as Marshall looking to stay right at that even number of 20. Coming home with the pitch is Marshall. This one hit right back up the middle. That could score a run. Rounding third is Alvaro Rendon, and he'll come home to score with ease. Excuse me, that's Barrett Barnes, as an RBI single will stretch this Skeeter lead to 2 runs, 3 total runs. 3-1 the score in favor of Sugarland. And that will bring up yet another batter to come up against Brett Marshall with none down. Once again, I want to hit home on the fact that Marshall has been getting ground balls. They've just been finding ways to get through. He hasn't allowed a hit to come in the air in this inning, but he has allowed a total of 3 hits. There's one in the air, but it's lofted into center. You wouldn't imagine they'll try to test Corey Vaughn's arm, and they will not, as it turns out to just be a fly out. As you saw that ball zooming in off the right hand of Corey Vaughn. He's got an absolute rocket, and he showed it off there. That the first out of the Skeeters half of this third inning, and it brings up Matt Chavez. After the Courtney Hawkins fly out, Matt Chavez comes in, and he's got some pretty good numbers on the season. .331 batting average, but he's one of 2 strikeout victims on the day for Chavez. Chavez, the first baseman, he has the second most hits in the Atlantic League. He's one of 2 players with 100-plus hits on the season. Marshall will look back to second, now coming home with the pitch and fooling the batter Chavez on a good off-speed that'll bring him ahead in the count, 0-1. Chavez up with Silverio on deck, Cordero in the hole should the inning extend that much further. With all the ground balls that Brett Marshall's been getting this inning, if you're him, you just want to get one more that could spell the end of the inning. Instead, a ball will squeak in between the legs of Jose Gonzalez, and a wild pitch is going to put runners on second and third with 1 down. Got to give Jose Gonzalez a break in this situation. This just his first game played since June 8th when he went down due to injury. He got hit in the face by a pitch back on June 8th. And this his first game back, so definitely give him some slack. As now Marshall will try to pick that up with a 1-1 count to one of the best hitters in the league, Matt Chavez. Ball 2 will miss upstairs to Chavez, and the count 2-1. Chavez no slouch in terms of runs batted in either, 52 on the year. That coupled with his 8 home runs, as Chavez will look to exploit the maybe holes he's found in the swing of Chavez. As that'll get into the right center gap. That should score 1, maybe 2. The first run comes around to score, as well does the second. Those 2 runners, Anthony Jansanti and Derek Norris, their runs represent the 4th and 5th runs of this Sugarland inning. Both Jansanti and Norris reached via the RBI single. Norris was a 2 RBI single, and Norris's was a 1 RBI, and Jansanti's was the 2 RBI. Juan Silverio, the next batter to come up. He comes up seeing a pretty productive inning from his side to this point, as the first pitch will cross for strike number 1. Silverio, the third baseman, sees the ball up and in, and that'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, a whole lot of ground balls in this inning. That last hit that you saw coming off the bat, Matt Chavez, was the only ball in the air that's resulted in a base hit in the inning, is 1-2 the count to Silverio. The only ball hit in the air out of 4 hits in the inning, 3 of them RBI singles. Marshall comes home with the 1-2, and a cutter catches on the outside corner. Now the count 1-2. Marshall still working that quick pace, trying to come right after this team. And you'd have to imagine that has something to do with the game plan balls and 2 strikes to Silverio. Silverio hits exceptionally well against right-handed pitching as he'll loft one into shallow center field. Edwin Garcia turns his back and tries to get it on a bounce. He's unable to do so, and that will result in the 5th single of the inning for the Skeeters. Silverio with a little bloop base hit and yet another unfortunate circumstance for Marshall, as I can't pound enough that he's really thrown a great game against his former team. 5 hits coming in this inning, 4 of them either a ground ball or a blooper. You got to give Chavez the solid line drive single, but if the ground balls are hit 2 people, the single wouldn't have really mattered, nor would it have scored 2 runs. Albert Cordero, the 9th Skeeter to come up in this inning, will lift a ball over to the left side. It gets well foul. 0-1 the count to the catcher. Cordero came into this season the backup to Derek Norris. Now, Norris, his name speaks for itself. He was a longtime MLB veteran, a one-time All-Star when he played with the Oakland Athletics. But Cordero, a guy that, as he lifts one over to the right side now, 0-2 the count, but you come into the season with a guy like that in front of you, it's hard to picture yourself being an everyday starter, and Cordero has done just that. He's been hitting so well, 283 with 10 home runs and 47 RBIs on the season. He's realistically forced his head coach to make a spot for him in the lineup every night, and that's exactly what's happened. The left-handed hitter will await the 0-2 from Marshall. It's fouled straight back, and the count will remain right where it is. Silverio, the former Iowa Cub and the former top Cubs prospect, here in his 11th season of professional baseball. Marshall gives a pitch into Silverio. It'll be drilled over to the right side, and the count stays at 0-2. Cordero may be one of those guys in the lineup that you know it's going to be hard to come after him. He's one of those guys when you watch him in batting practice that there really isn't too many holes in his swing. You don't see him trying to drop his hands or his back shoulder too much. He's got a pretty fluid motion from the left side as he'll lift one over to left field. Teodoro Martinez comes in and watches it drop right in front of him. That'll send a run home after it squibbles past him. Here comes the throw home just late of potentially getting the runner Matt Chavez. Instead, that an RBI double that plates the 6th Skeeter run of this 3rd inning. That the first extra base hit of this Skeeters half inning. But it does the damage nonetheless, and that brings up Dennis Phipps for the 2nd time in this 3rd inning. Keep in mind, this is just a 7-inning scheduled game, as Brett Marshall will have his manager James Frisbee have a chat with him out on the mound. Doesn't look like it'll be the end of the line for Marshall, as once again he's really been throwing well. Just a couple of unfortunate circumstances have caused this lineup to flip back to the top as Dennis Phipps will come up. He led off this inning with a single. That was followed by an error, which was followed by a walk. That's when the runs started to pour in. A 2 RBI single from Anthony Jansanti was followed by an RBI single from Derek Norris. Then the only out of this inning was recorded by a fly out to center by Courtney Hawkins. 3 back-to-back hits have brought up Dennis Phipps for the 2nd time in the inning as the ball squirts past Jose Gonzalez. Not far enough to bring in a run, though. Phipps, when he's not in the Atlantic League, he's playing winter ball as many players do. He plays in Venezuela, and he was the player of the year last year in Venezuela, which is realistically a very competitive winter league. So it's a very honoring award to receive if you're Phipps. Strike 1 crosses on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Phipps. Dennis Phipps, the right fielder for this Skeeter squad. Slider misses on the outer half. That evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now a throw down to third. Getting off too far Jose Gonzalez, after a throw from Frank Martinez, is able to catch the Skeeters in a little bit of base running trouble. Juan Silverio thrown out on the base paths, and that strands at least one of these Skeeters without coming home. So Phipps at a little bit of danger of leading off this inning and ending this inning. Phipps had his time in the show back in 2012. Phipps played 8 games for the Cincinnati Reds. He went 3 for 10 and scored 4 runs in those games. He also had a double, a home run, and 2 RBIs. So you got to imagine if you're Phipps, that's a little bit of a head scratcher as to why you didn't stay up. Phipps will end up reaching the base via the walk, and now that'll bring up Alvaro Rondon for his second time on the evening. In the inning. Rondon reached via the error and later scored when he was the second batter to come up in the Skeeters half of the inning. The shifty lefty will dig back into his left-handed batter's box. First pitch from Marshall misses a little bit inside, and some theatrics will definitely draw the call from Rondon. Rondon peaked at AAA Reno. He's also a local to Texas, as many of these Skeeters are. He attended Texas A&M and was an Aggie for baseball. Ball 2 will miss high and outside. 2-0 the count to Rondon. Rondon, a .280 hitter on the year, .379 against the Blue Crabs, as Marshall will dig back onto the mound, and he'll prepare for his third time make that his second time against Alvaro Rondon. He gets one across for strike number 1 as a curveball finds its way. 2-1 the count to Rondon. Marshall with a a pause. Here he comes with the pitch. This one drilled over to the right side. Angelo Sanca unable to field it in the air. A strong throw home holds all the runners where they are, but an absolutely frozen rope to right field will load the bases once more, this time for Barrett Barnes. Barnes has hit already in this inning. He was walked with 2 on. That loaded the bases, and Barnes later scored. A base hit here from Barnes could really break this game open. Brett Marshall clinging on to what he has left of this game. This is definitely a Blue Crabs team that never gives up. They're very prone to coming back in ball games and never willing to say die, if you will. They always are scratching and fighting back into games, but trying to see if they can hold on to this one here as a curveball misses in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Barnes, the center fielder, hitting a minuscule 185 against the Blue Crabs. We'll try to raise that average as Marshall comes home with a good off speed and finds its way in to make the count 2-1. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That strikeout came in the first is Barnes, as he'll get hit in the shoulder with a curveball. That'll plate another Skeeter run, and crossing the plate will come home in the form of Albert Cordero. That the first hit by pitch of this ball game. That brings up the number 2 hole batter, Anthony Jansanti. Jansanti 1 for 2 in this ball game. He had a fly out to center in the first inning, and earlier in this inning, he had a 2 RBI single and later scored. Mentioned Jansanti not very good with the bases loaded. This is second time coming up with the bases loaded in the inning. 0-1 the count to Jansanti. He was 0 for 5 on the season with the bases loaded prior to this ball game. Now 1 for 6 as he'll see a ball miss on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Some action in the Blue Crabs pen. Drake Britton warming up for the Blue Crabs. Marshall comes home with the 1-1. This one a chopper over to the left side. Edwin Garcia is able to get it on a couple of hops and swing it across to his counterpart middle infielder Angelise Nina for out number 3. In the inning, the Skeeters were able to do a little bit of damage to Brett Marshall. They are able to plate 6 runs. That comes on 7 hits and 1 Blue Crabs error. When we come back, the Blue Crabs try to crack back into this lead, and they'll send up a couple of their best to do it. Jose Gonzalez, Teodoro Martinez, and Edwin Garcia when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is Cash Beecham, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Are you looking for the latest and best in Blue Crabs gear? Look no further than the newly redesigned and restocked Crab Shack Team Store, anchored by EC Sports. The Team Store features everything from old favorites like game replica hats and t-shirts to novelty items and collectibles. You can visit our Team Store anytime 9 to 5, as well as during all home games. The Team Store is also available online by visiting somdbluecrabs.com and clicking the Store tab.
Hey fans, this is Sam Runyon, right-handed pitcher for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Make sure you come out every Thursday for Foster's Grill Wings and Beer Night. For just $30, you can enjoy a ticket to the game and 2 hours of all-you-can-eat Foster's Wings and all-you-can-drink beer in the Legends Club from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. For more information, please visit our website at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788.
Hey, this is Kalaika Kaho'ohalahala, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back inside Regency Furniture Stadium. Happy to be bringing you today's ball game. Ezra Banstra here with you in Waldorf, Maryland. Jose Gonzalez, the first batter to come up to the plate. He'll face off against Yasid Cubo. Cubo comes home with the first pitch. It'll miss on the outside corner. 1-0 the count. We are in the bottom of the third inning, and that's where Jose Gonzalez has his first at-bat since 2 months ago to the day. Unfortunately, he was hit in the face with a pitch back on June 8th. This is first at-bat since. You'll see a fastball float outside the strike zone. 2-0 the count. Prior to his injury, Gonzalez was batting 236 on the year, but really picking it up in terms of batting average was he in those last 5, as he'll take a ball on the outside corner. 3-0 the count. But Gonzalez, in his last 2 games as a Blue Crab before that injury, was 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and a pair of doubles. A 4-pitch walk will give Jose Gonzalez way to first base, and a Blue Crab reaches base for the 3rd time in as many innings. Back in the first, the Blue Crabs went down in order, changed up a little bit in the second when, with 1 down, Frank Martinez dribbled a single into right field. Corey Vaughn scored him on a single of his own. And that's how we find ourselves with a lone run on the day for the Blue Crabs. Back to the top of the lineup, and the man to do it, Teodoro Martinez. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out to the pitcher. That pitcher, Cubo, who crosses for strike number 1 on the inner half. Teodoro batting .385 against Sugar Land this year. He's also batting near that mark here at Regency Furniture Stadium. So you'd have to imagine this matchup is really going to favor Teo, as he'll hit one hard but well foul. The count 0-2. Teo's also hitting .310 against right-handed pitchers, which is about 14 points of average higher than his season average. So in all facets, this is a matchup that favors Teodoro. We'll see if that comes to abolition, as the ball will be bounced 56 feet off the hands of Cubo. 1-2 the count. We've seen that a couple of times already on the evening. Cubo having some trouble locating pitches, and that's going to come when you throw the type of pitches that Cubo does. He throws a lot of interesting off speeds, and sometimes you're going to lose grip of that type of pitch. Cubo's 1-2 hit over to the right side. Looks like a double play, and it is, as the speedy Teodoro Martinez grounds into a 4-6-3 double play, and the Blue Crabs find themselves with only one out to work with here in this bottom of the third. That brings up Edwin Garcia. Garcia, a guy that's been very hard to get off the base paths of late. He has the second best batting average in all of the Atlantic League over the past 30 days, hitting just below 400 at 398. Cubo's first pitch to Garcia, a good two-seam that works its way back onto the outer half, in the count 0-1 to the shortstop. A sign of a good catcher is a guy that's able to really lead the rest of his team. And I just looked down and saw the Skeeters catcher, Albert Cordero, kind of almost like a quarterback reading a defense. Instead, a little bit of the opposite in this situation. He reads Edwin Garcia and knows his pass, and he's kind of pointing in different directions to the right side of his infield in terms of how they should play Garcia. Impressive stuff from Cordero as the ball will bounce in the dirt. 2-1 the count. Garcia, another matchup that should favor him, just like it should his predecessor Teodoro Martinez. 398, as I mentioned, in the last 30 days. 395 against Sugarland. Cubo's 2-1 pitch hit over to the right side, but very well fouled, and that equals the count at 2-2. On the season, Garcia hitting .288, 2 home runs and 26 RBIs. It's been a roller coaster ride in terms of streakiness for Garcia. He's seen his batting average go above where it is today despite the hot month that he's seen as ball 3 will cross. And then it went all the way back down to the 230 range. Ever since it dipped down that low, it hasn't seen those depths ever since. And that's how he finds himself batting .288 in the latter portion of the season. Cubo has a long look home before the payoff pitch. That pitch will miss downstairs, and Cubo issues his second walk of this inning. The inning was led off by a walk by Jose Gonzalez. Teodoro Martinez then grounded into a double play, which took the runner off base. But now with another runner on, Devin Rodriguez will come up to the plate with 2 down. We mentioned Devin Rodriguez has the ability to be the hero. He walked off a game last week. He's got a couple of those not only in his professional career, but also in his collegiate career, as ball 1 crosses outside to the left-handed Rodriguez. Rodriguez will await the 1-0 pitch as Cubo settles into the mound. That pitch, an interesting off-speed that'll loft its way downstairs and in the dirt. Falling behind in another at-bat is Cubo. Cubo, long look over to first, now set at the belt for the 2-0. Rodriguez has got to be sitting dead red. He was. Tries to take a hack at a swing. He's able to make himself hold up a little bit as he recognizes that Cubo's really starting to struggle with his command. 3-0 the count to the power-hitting Devin Rodriguez. The 3-0 pitch, no intention to swing from Rodriguez, but it does cross. 3-1 the count. Rodriguez's bat has also been heating up of late. He's hitting .400 over the last 10 games. Trying to keep that trend going is Rodriguez. The 3-1 pitch misses on the outside corner, and 3 walks in the inning from Cubo find a couple of Blue Crabs on base here with 2 down in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cubo in some trouble, and you never want to extend an inning to a guy that has the power such as John Griffin. Griffin's displayed that time and time again, and it would not be the first time that the power-hitting Griffin has made a pitcher pay for an extending an inning to him. is going to have to await a long look from Cubo. Now set of the belt is Cubo. Comes home with a good curveball that'll cross right down Broadway. Griffin wisely takes a curveball on the first pitch. 0-1 the count. Cuba with a long look into Griffin. Now we'll look back to second. He'll come home with the pitch and a check swing by Griffin. Home plate umpire will say that he did go around. 0-2 the count. That gives us a good opportunity to set the umpires. Derek Moshe behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Nate Caldwell at first base. And Eric Byram at third base. Cubo finds himself with an 0-2 count to Griffin. Here he comes with the pitch, and swinging through an off-speed is John Griffin. The first strikeout recorded on the ball game for Cubo will put us through 3 complete innings of baseball played. In the inning for the Blue Crabs, they strand 2. No runs, no hits, and no errors coming in the inning. When we return, it's Brett Marshall back to the bump for the Blue Crabs. We'll have it right here for you on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Blue Crabs fans, come on out Wednesday morning, August 1st for the Blue Crabs annual Camp Day. The fun under the sun starts at 11 a.m., so fans from all walks of life who can't usually catch the boys of summer play under the stars are invited to join. A special group rate for 20 or more of just $8 for a ticket or $13 for a ticket and a meal make it a great outing. Call group sales at 301-638-9788 or visit somdbluecrabs.com for more info.
Shopping for groceries in a clean, friendly store? That's smart. Shopping for groceries in a clean, friendly store and saving some money while you're doing it? That's wise. At Wise Markets, you'll find all your favorite brands, prices you'll appreciate. That means more meat for less money, more dinner for less dinero, and more milk for less moolah. Stop by a Wise Market today.
Eat better, spend less, that's wise.
Regency Furniture Stadium. We head into the top of the 4th inning. Brett Marshall out for his 4th inning of work. First pitch to Derek Norris, misses on the outside corner. Norris has already come up to the plate a couple of times in this ball game. Pretty solid up to this point has been Norris, as he'll foul one off to the left side. 0-2 the count to the designated hitter. Marshall allowed 7 runs back in that crazy 3rd inning. And you got to give Marshall some credit for staying on the bump. Not just that, but out of those 7 hits in the inning, 6 of them were ground balls that managed to squeak their way through the infield. That combined with 1 error and 1 hit that was pretty well squared up from Matt Chavez led to 7 runs for the Skeeters in that 3rd. Find ourselves with a 3-1 count. 3 straight will miss off the hands of Marshall. Norris 2 for 2 on the day with an RBI and a run scored. The rock, the fire, here comes the pitch, and a curveball misses upstairs. A 5-pitch walk will put a runner on in the form of Derek Norris. And I'm sure head coach, make that manager James Frisbee, is going to recognize that realistically, Marshall didn't have a bad inning. He just allowed a couple of ground balls that got through. That, combined with the fact that it's a doubleheader today, is going to spell Marshall going as long as he can in this ballgame. As long as he's pitching and getting ground balls as he should. First pitch to Courtney Hawkins misses on the outside corner. 1-0 the count. Hawkins 0 for 2 on the day. A ground out and a pop fly to center as the ball's going to escape the glove of Jose Gonzalez. Doesn't mean anything as Derek Norris will stay put at first. Couple of taps on his cleats from Courtney Hawkins. Now he'll dig back in for the 2-0. Fastball on the inner corner from Marshall will be fouled off by Hawkins. 2-1 the count to the left fielder. Hawkins has got some serious power in his bat. He leads the league in both home runs and RBIs with 18 home runs and 71 RBIs as the ball's lofted into shallow right field. Angelo Sanco puts it away without any troubles for out number 1. Drake Britton once again up and throwing. He was doing that last inning as well, and maybe just making sure that Marshall doesn't escape too far out of this ball game. He's been pretty good up to this point, as I mentioned, but my guess is manager James Frisbee and pitching coach Cody Epley are just making sure that everything stays on track. Matt Chavez, the next batter, and a line drive escapes the jumping glove of Edwin Garcia. The second hit for the hot bat of Matt Chavez on the afternoon will put 2 on with 1 down for the Skeeters. That brings up a dangerous bat in the form of Juan Silverio. He's already shown that once today. He had a single back in the 3rd inning. That hit that just came off the bat of Chavez gives him 102 hits on the year and 9 hits on the day for the Skeeters as the ball's over to the right side, well fouled. 0-1 the count to Silverio. The lone Blue Crabs run of this game came well before any scoring happened for the Skeeters. It came on a Corey Vaughn RBI single back in the bottom of the 2nd. A bouncing curveball will find its way in the back of Jose Gonzalez's glove. The count 1-1. After all the ground balls that Brett Marshall has gotten today, you couldn't ask for anything more than a tailor-made double play. Hopefully he gets that from Juan Silverio, who's already grounded out once in this ballgame. Marshall's pitch, a tailor-made double play. Here it is to third. Here comes to second. And the throw over to first just in time to nail Jose. Make that Juan Silverio for a double play that couldn't have come at a better time for Brett Marshall. Puts the game 3.5 innings into play. We're halfway through the ball game in a 7-inning game. Then we head into the bottom of the 4th, where the Blue Crabs will send up Frank Martinez, Angelo Sanco, and Corey Vaughn when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is Austin Green, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Blue Crabs fans, come celebrate the bluest birthday of them all on Friday night, August 17th. It's Pinch's birthday party with appearances by all of Pinch's mascot friends. After the game, stick around for a post-game cupcake drop brought to you by Pump It Up of Waldorf. That's right, cupcakes raining out of the sky from the outfield with prizes for some lucky contestants. For more information, visit somdbluecrabs.com/promotion or call 301-638-9788.
Hey kids, this is Drake Britton, pitcher for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. If you're under 12 years old, make sure to check out our Chick-fil-A Backfin Buddies program. For just $15, kids will receive free admission to every Friday home game this season, as well as a Backfin Buddies t-shirt and Pinch pencil pouch. During the games, all members wearing their t-shirt get to go on the field for the High Five Tunnel, as well as free admission to the kids' park and a free ice cream helmet. For more information, please visit our website at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788.
Jose Gonzalez, and you are listening to the Blue Crab Broadcast Network.
I'm pleased to welcome you back inside Waldorf, Maryland, as we head into the bottom of the fourth inning with some Blue Crabs baseball on the docket. Frank Martinez, the first Blue Crab to come up in this bottom of the fourth, looking to start to chip away at that Skeeter lead that they find themselves facing against. 7-1 the score. All 7 of those runs came in the top of the third inning, but Frank Martinez has one of the 2 Blue Crabs hits on the day, and he also scored the lone run. First pitch crosses on the outside half from Cubo. As you see, Cubo on the season come in with just 6 walks. He now has 9 with 3 just in the last inning. Ball 1 crosses on the outside corner as a looping curveball is unable to get the strike zone. Martinez, a guy that finds ways to get on base. He's one of the best hitters I've ever seen, and he singled back in the second. See a decent shift over to the right side, and Martinez plays right into that. This ball's rolling into the bullpen. That's a tough play for the Skeeters to make, and strolling into second standing up is Frank Martinez with the third Blue Crab hit of the day, 2 of them to his ledger, as he now comes in with a double. Right before that hit, I was trying to point out that due to the fact that Martinez, a switch hitter, was hitting from the left side, as they are now, you see the Skeeters infield shifting accordingly to a left-handed hitter, so working more shading towards the right side of the field. A cue ball double down the left field line off Frank Martinez's bat. Has something cooking for the Blue Crabs here in the bottom of the fourth. Angelo Sanco continuing to try to keep that going as he'll come up. A big hack at a fastball off the hands of Cubo. Buries him into the count 0-1. Sanco's got some power in his bat. He's displayed that recently. He hit a home run just a couple of games ago. 244 batter on the year, a pair of home runs and 22 RBIs. As he'll see a Cubo pitch on the outside corner that'll cross for strike number 2. Sanco 0 for 1 on the day, but that doesn't tell the whole story. He's really figured out this Sugarland team, where in 10 games he's hitting .325 against the Skeeters. 0-2 count to the left-handed right fielder, Angelo Sanco. Cubo comes home with the 0-2. This ball pounded into the dirt by the pitcher, Cubo. 1-2 the count. Sanco, as we mentioned, has some power. 24 home runs, which was good for 3rd in the league last year with the Long Island Ducks. Set of the belts, Cubo for the 1-2 delivery. Here it comes, and this ball taken on the outside corner. 2-2 the count to Sanco. Just a couple of weeks ago, Angelo Sanco did something that not many players are able to do. He had his 1,000th professional hit coming just about a week ago today. He now sits at 1,008, but you got to tip your cap to that. Not many men are able to cross the lines and become a professional baseball player. Very few are able to reach the 1,000 career hit mark as he'll foul one back into the netting. 2-2 the count. Sanco's a guy that has a very storied past. Back in his days of the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, he was once their number 22 prospect. He also once hit for the Cycle. So some very good hitting stories for Sanco, as you wouldn't expect anything less. An exceptionally good hitter, a very good guy as well. He's just a humble man and a pretty good guy to talk to. 3-2 the count. As the Blue Crabs find themselves with a runner on second, none down, and trying to chip their way back into a lead that they find themselves facing against. 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Skeeters. The Blue Crabs with a lone run accompanied by 3 hits and an error. Sanco swings through the 3-2 Cubo delivery, and that'll spell the first out of the Blue Crabs half of the fourth. That's just the second strikeout on the day for Cubo. The first came to end the bottom of the third inning. That's not really what you'd expect from Cubo, as he's got some stuff that'll strike guys out. In 1,500 innings pitched, most of them coming in the Nippon League in Japan, he struck out 1,000 batters. So Cubo's got some really masterful stuff, but he'll have to get past Corey Vaughn if he wants to continue his outing to this day. Vaughn rips one down the left field line, inches foul, will make the Blue Crabs have to return to their bases as Corey Vaughn almost had his second RBI single of the day. This is the dynamic duo that got it done for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the second. The 3 hits on the day are because Frank Martinez had a single back in the second, and then Corey Vaughn had one of his own to bring Martinez in. Martinez leads this inning off with a double, and now Vaughn comes up, looking to make some magic happen once more. A look back to second. Cubo now all eyes on Vaughn as a changeup misses downstairs. You don't ever want to fall behind an account to Vaughn. He hasn't done that quite yet, but a 1-1 count is not exactly what you want to be working against. Vaughn, a professional hitter that can make you pay with one slip-up. Cubo comes home with the 1-1 and off speed, is going to get past the glove of the catcher Cordero, not fouled off by Vaughn, so getting back to the screen, and that brings up a runner just 90 feet away is a pass ball. Will bring Frank Martinez that much closer to representing the second Blue Crabs run of this game. Martinez scored that first run of the game, trying to make it 2, and Corey Vaughn wouldn't mind making it 3 as he's got the power to do it. He's displayed that on many occasions this season. Cubo set for the 1-2 to the powerful Vaughn. The leg lick and the delivery, this one lofted high in the air. Matt Chavez, the first baseman, gives chase. He's at his dugout, and he'll watch it hit off the heel of his glove for what could have been a very loud out number 1. Instead, Corey Vaughn clings on to what is now some new life, and he'll try to make the pitcher Cubo pay for it. Cubo, not necessarily the ideal matchup for Vaughn. We mentioned he doesn't necessarily come at you with the velocity some other guys do. Instead, he gets the strikeouts and outs via some interesting off speeds. Vaughn, a fastball hitter. He gets a fastball and he'll lift it straight up in the air. Catcher Cordero giving chase back at the screen, and he'll have to watch it loft just over that screen. And once again, Corey Vaughn clinging on to new life. Now would be the time to make Cubo pay for letting Vaughn extend this at bat. Vaughn, a 203 hitter on the year, hitting much better here at home. 243 average when he's at Regency Furniture Stadium. Cubo set once again for the 1-2. This the third in a row. Vaughn takes that pitch on the outside corner, make that the inside, and the count 2-2. Vaughn awaiting the 2-2 for the first time of the ballgame. He hasn't had a bat stretch that far because he hasn't needed to this point. Here comes the 2-2, and swinging through a changeup is Vaughn, and that'll set him down on strikes, the third victim of the night of Cubo. And finally, the strikeouts are starting to work themselves in, as back-to-back strikeouts, 3 of the last 4, have gone down in that manner. Angeles Nino, the last hope for the Blue Crabs, half of the 4th inning. On the day, he's 0 for 1, but he's got some good numbers on the season. He's hitting .311 in a Blue Crabs uniform, and he'd like to extend that here. Cubo set at the belt out of the stretch as he has been all afternoon. Nina takes a 2-seam on the inner half and finds himself down right away in the count. No balls and 1 strike. You'd hate to leave that runner stranded so close from representing the second run of the ball game. Frank Martinez led off this inning with a double. He advanced to third on a pass ball and now tries to score, but it's going to have some magic happen in favor of the Blue Crabs, as now the count 1-1 to Nina. Nina, number 15, the second baseman, will dig back in against Cubo. Set of the bell, the long look spells a delivery. The 1-1 will miss downstairs as a heavy dose of off-speed has been on the docket for Cubo on the day, and that's just something the Blue Crabs are going to have to adjust to. Pretty straight-up defense. You couldn't ask for a more straight-up defense outside of a heavy shift from Jan Santi, the second baseman. Cubo comes home with the pitch, swung on and missed by Angelis Nina, a guy who you typically stayed pretty well within himself. On that one, he let it loose and tried to take a big hack at a ball, and that digs himself into a 2-2 count. Drake Britton still up and throwing in the Blue Crabs' pen. You'd have to expect his arm to enter the game in the top of the 5th inning. Nina hits one off to the left side, escapes into that bullpen, and that'll cause Drake Britton to go grab it. 2-2, still the count. One runner on, a 2-2 count with 2 down, and Angelis Nina would love to make the Skeeters pay for allowing Frank Martinez to loom so close to home plate. Nina, 20 RBIs on the year, looking to make it at least 21. The 2-2 pitch will ring him up looking, and striking out the side is Yasatumo Cubo. That 4 strikeouts through his many innings. He's able to get the strikeout numbers going and strands a Blue Crab in the process. No runs, 1 hit. That a double from Frank Martinez. No errors and 1 runner left on base put us through 4 innings. When we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network, it's Drake Britton after his first inning of work. We'll have it right here for you when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is Ryan Strasburger, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Blue Crabs fans, what's more American than baseball and a barbecue cookout? Quite frankly, the two go together like stars and stripes, rockets and red glare, and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. So when you come to Regency Furniture Stadium's all-you-can-eat picnic pavilion, you get both at a great price. The best part is that groups from 20 to 400 plus can enjoy the picnic pavilion, and when you include this home run of a deal with the kids park, paddle boats, and on-field fun, you have a grand slam of an opportunity. Call today at 301-638-9788 to speak with a sales executive or visit somdbluecrabs.com for more information.
This is Rick Meehan, Mayor of Ocean City, Maryland. For everyone who's put off planning a vacation this summer, I've got good news for you. Ocean City, Maryland is a procrastinator's paradise. We've got 10 miles of free beach, an amazing 3-mile boardwalk, golf, fishing, shopping, dining, and free events 7 nights a week, including fireworks, boardwalk light shows, dance parties, and movies right on the beach. It's not too late. Book a visit today at ococean.com. That's ococean.com.
Hey, this is Edwin Garcia, and we are listening to the Blue Crab Broadcast Network.
Welcome back inside Regency Furniture Stadium. Brandon Belanda here alongside my broadcast partner, Andrew Banstra. Andrew got you to this point in the game. It's a 7-1 Blue Crabs deficit as we head to the top of the 5th in this Game 1 of what's set to be 2 7-inning games as part of a doubleheader to make up for the rain last night. The day is done for Brett Marshall after 86 pitches. He hands things over to southpaw Drake Britton, who gets a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike to Albert Cordero to start things here in the 5th. Britton working out of the stretch. He works out of the windup as a starter, but as a reliever, he does stay in the stretch full time as a check swing here. And yes, he did, so the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Cordero on the day, 1 for 2, a single, a fly out, and a run scored. As he swings over a change-up here, and down on strikes is Albert Cordero for out number 1. A good start to the day for Drake Britton. David Wayne Russo is the scheduled starter in Game 2 for Southern Maryland. The final line for Brett Marshall. He goes 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Now batting is the right fielder Dennis Phipps. He's 1 for 1 with a run scored. He also drew a walk on the game, as he takes that one low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. For Britton, this is just his second relief appearance of the year. He's made 16 appearances now, with 14 of them coming as starts, as he swings and foul tips one back off the catcher, and that'll even things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. New baseballs brought to the home plate umpire, Derek Moshe, as Phipps will step outside the box and reset. Britton kicks and delivers. A fastball misses high, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Britton's numbers on the year. He's 4 and 5 with a 6.62 ERA. Most of those coming in those 14 starts. He's picked up 42 strikeouts and 69 in the 3rd innings, as a foul tip here off the bat of Phipps is caught by Gonzalez, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Britton kicks and delivers. The payoff pitch, a fastball misses high and inside, and Phipps is aboard with his 2nd walk of the day. So that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Alvaro Rondon. Rondon reached on an error and scored a run in the 3rd. He also singled in that 3rd inning. I'd imagine Britton will go the rest of the way here in this game. Try to save some of the bullpen for the latter half. A chopper down the first base line will go foul in the count at no balls and 1 strike. Britton kicks and delivers here. That's going to miss low. It gets by Gonzalez, but the runner unable to advance from first as he'll stay put. So the count will even up to Rondon at 1-1. Britton kicks for the 1-1. It's a changeup that swung on and foul tipped out of play the other way, and the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rondon. Britton looking to use that sinker that he throws to get a ground ball off the bat of Rondon. Turn 2 to end the inning. The Blue Crabs do have 1 double play already, a 5-4-3 that ended the 4th. 1-2 upcoming. Britton kicks and delivers. A slider is swung on and missed, and down on strikes goes Rondon. Second strikeout of the inning for Drake Britton. That'll bring in Barrett Barnes. Barnes is 0 for 1 officially, but he's reached on a walk and a hit by pitch to this point. Fastball on the outside corner is a called strike, and the count will go to no balls and 1 strike. Lefty on righty matchup here. It favors the batter as Britton comes inside and jams him with a fastball. And the count at no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody up and warming for the Blue Crabs. I imagine not much action in the Sugarland bullpen either, as Yasutomo Kubo has pitched relatively well to this point, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits. He's got a 7-1 cushion if Sugarland wants to save their bullpen as well. 0-2 just misses the inside corner, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barnes is the leadoff hitter in this Sugarland lineup for Game 1. We haven't been given preliminary rosters for, or lineups, for Game 2 yet, so neither side has anybody in place. I imagine the catchers will flip, as well as a couple other changes. We do have the projected starters as a check swing here, but no swing, says Nate Caldwell, and the count evens up 2-2. The pitching matchup for that game, Craig Stem is going to match up with Craig Sitton. Left-hander for Sugarland is 2-0 with a 4.21. The right-hander for the Blue Crabs, Stem, is 5-4 with a 3.06. That game will come 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Britton ready for the 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. He kicks and delivers a line drive towards third base that's going to get through the hole and into left field. As aboard with a single is Barrett Barnes, his first hit of the game. That'll put 2 on with 2 outs for Anthony Jansanti. He's 1 for 3, a single back in the 3rd inning, plated 2 RBI hit for Jansanti. That gave him 41 RBIs on the season. He'll dig into the right-handed batter's box. Jansanti listed as an outfielder on the Skeeters roster, but is playing second base today. A versatile asset for this Sugarland team, as he takes a big cut but fouls 1 straight back, and the count will go to no balls and 1 strike. So Marshall, a tough outing in his first appearance against his former team. Britton comes set for the 0-1. Kicks and delivers. Slider misses low here, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Crabs have a weekend series coming up with the Road Warriors. They're home until Sunday. They've got 2 more left against Sugarland after this one, the second half of the doubleheader, and then the finale tomorrow with Dallas Beeler versus David Wayne Russo. And then the Road Warriors will come into town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before Southern Maryland will hit the road and head up to Long Island for a 3-game set. Pitch swung on and missed, so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jansanti. Britton looking to strand a pair here in his first inning of relief work. The southpaw comes set at the chest. A look back at second base, where Phipps has a solid lead. Now delivers. This one's ripped down the left field line. That's going to get down to the corner. Teodoro Martinez will give chase. Phipps will come around and score. On his way to third is Barnes, and Jansanti will cruise into second. An RBI double, as Jansanti now has 3 RBIs on the board, and Sugarland adds another to their lead. It's 8-1. The 5th. So Jansanti adds an RBI double to his 2 RBI single, as he leads the way for Sugarland with 3 RBIs on the board. He was tied with Matt Chavez at 2 prior to that double. So now he stands in scoring position, as does Barrett Barnes. And the designated hitter, Derek Norris, comes up as Britton kicks and delivers to Norris. A fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. This game, the second of the day in the Atlantic League, the Long Island Ducks defeated the Somerset Patriots 4-3. An 11-10 start at TD Bank Ballpark. It went 11 innings before the Ducks were victorious. As a blooper out towards shallow right's going to get down off the bat of Norris. 1 run will score. Jan Santi around. He'll score as well. And that's 2 more on the board for the Skeeters. They lead 10-1 here in the top of the 5th. So Norris joins as he reaches base for the 4th time in the game. He's got 2 singles, a double, and a walk. And now he'll tie Jan Santi with 3 RBIs as well. That brings up Courtney Hawkins. Hawkins is the only hitter in the Sugarland lineup without a hit to this point, as he's 0 for 3 and takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. More action now in the Blue Crabs bullpen. A right-hander has begun to stretch and throw for Southern Maryland, as Britton kicks and delivers. This one's fouled off, and the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hawkins, a dangerous bat, 18 home runs, 71 RBIs coming into play. So despite his hitless game here, he still leads the league in home runs and RBIs to this point. He's on pace for 20 home runs and a 100 RBI season as he smokes one foul beside the Blue Crabs dugout. Everyone okay there as it ricochets off a seat and back into the field of play. Britton set now for the 1-2, looking to get out of this inning as he delivers a fastball. That one elevated a little bit too high to get Hawkins to chase. So the count will now go to 2 balls and 2 strikes on the dangerous cleanup hitter. This one swung on, another hard foul ball over the Blue Crabs dugout, but once again, that'll avoid all the seats, and everyone is good to go over there. A couple of dangerous shots off of the bat of Hawkins, though, as he sent 2 screamers over the Blue Crabs dugout, but avoided any potential dangerous areas, as fans still filling in here. The game was originally scheduled for a 6:35 start, but with the rain last night, set up the 5 o'clock doubleheader today. Coming set now for the 2-2 is Drake Britton as he kicks and delivers. A fastball is swung on. Foul tipped into the glove of Gonzalez. He'll hang on, and that will retire the side. Britton picks up 3 strikeouts, but also allows 3 runs to score in the inning. That comes on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave 1 man on base. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th, 10-1 the score here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. When we come back, Yasutomo Kubo back to the mound for the Skeeters, and the 9-1-2 due up for the Blue Crabs when we return to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is David Wayne Russo, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Calling all Jedis, please report to Regency Furniture Stadium on July 28th for Star Wars Night as the Blue Crabs take on Long Island. This night will feature an appearance by Jedi Saber Combat and a post-game fireworks spectacular. For more information on this or other exciting events throughout the season, please visit our website at somdbluecrabs.com or you can call us at 301-638-9788.
This is Brandon Compton, right-handed pitcher for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Join our team every Friday home game as we honor those who serve our country by remembering everyone deployed. Every Red Friday, the team will wear red jerseys brought to you by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. All active and former military members receive $5 tickets with their ID. For more information or to get tickets today, please visit us online at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788.
Jose Gonzalez digs in to lead things off here as the Blue Crabs get ready for the bottom of the fifth. Yasutomo Kubo back on the mound as he delivers low for ball one. Gonzalez walked in his first at-bat back from a long stretch of games that he missed after suffering a broken orbital bone, as this one misses outside, 2-0. That pitch, when you look back, that hit Gonzalez way back when, exactly 2 months to the day, actually came off the right arm of the Blue Crab starter today, Brett Marshall, when he was with Sugarland. Kubo ready for the 1-1 as he kicks and delivers. This one's fouled back in the count at 2 balls and 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gonzalez.
That's just got to be intimidating for Gonzalez if you're anybody. I mean, coming back from an injury like that, 2 months to the day, and then you put on top of it that the guy who hit you is actually throwing to you this time as your pitcher. It's just a strange scenario.
Not something you see every day, but Gonzalez handled it pretty well. A solid debut behind the plate regardless of what happens the rest of the way, as this pitch misses inside. So it's nice to have Gonzalez back in the lineup, no doubt. Gonzalez flares one towards the second baseman. Jansanti backing up. He'll make the catch for out number 1 in the inning.
And realistically, if you're Gonzalez, you're just happy. You're making contact today. You're getting back into the swing of things, kind of getting your feet under you here in your first game.
The leadoff hitter, Teodoro Martinez, digs in now. He's 0 for 2 as Kubo kicks and delivers. Fastball in the outside corner for a called strike, and the count at 0-1. That strike, Kubo's 43rd strike of the day. He has 29 balls to go with that, so 72 pitches in total for the right-hander. As we'll see how long the leash is for him. As Teo slaps one down the third base line, but hooked a little bit too far, as that'll go foul, and the count at 0 ball and 2 strikes.
Mentioned it earlier, but Kubo, a guy that was a borderline celebrity when he was in Japan. I mean, you want to see how you're a celebrity. How is he celebrity, you ask? He was even in a movie about baseball. Dugout Numuko Ima Wu Ikuro to Iakuto.
Do you have any idea what that means?
Not at all.
As Teo sends a fly ball to right field, Phipps giving chase, but he'll run out of room as that'll go foul. And the count will hold at 0 balls and 2 strikes.
I plugged it into Google Translate, and it detected Japanese, and it
good.
translated to exactly what I said that I'm not going to say again, but I will say, as choppy as that sounded, my Japanese is getting a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more fluid with each time.
We'll have to get Josh out of the office. Josh actually, I believe, took Japanese either in high school or college. So we'll have to get one of the interns, Josh, out of whatever he's doing right now to come get him to translate that for us.
That'd be great.
The 0-2 upcoming, a curveball misses low, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Josh, if you're downstairs listening right now, come on up here. Let us know what that means.
Speaking of, that brings me to your trivia question today, Brandon, and I know
fantastic.
I'm not on the play-by-play right now, but whenever you want me to give that to you, I've got it.
Well, I wasn't doing color for the majority of your play-by-play, so that's not fair that you have to do it on play-by-play. As a fastball swung on and missed, and that's the second out here in the inning. That's also the fifth strikeout for Yasatomo Kubo on the day. So that'll bring in Edwin Garcia, and that'll turn things over to Andrew for today's trivia question.
So the pitcher Yasatomo Kubo was the Japanese Nippon League Rookie of the Year in 2005. There's been a couple of guys that have gotten that honor that have turned out to have very successful careers in the MLB. Can you give me? There's 4 guys that are real big names. 3 of them all-stars in the MLB. Can you give me at least 2 of them that were all-stars?
First pitch misses outside to Garcia. How long do I have?
I'll give you a half inning and a whole inning, whatever you want.
All right, we'll do it in the top of the 6th. As Kubo delivers, this one swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. When did you say Kubo was the Rookie of the Year? 2005. That was when he made his debut, I believe, right?
Correct. Correct. But you got to keep in mind, they do it like they do in the MLB. They give a MVP or a Rookie of the Year for each side. So for the Central and the Pacific in the Nippon League.
Got you. A fly ball towards shallow center. It's a blooper out there. Might get down, but Jansanti circles around and handles it nicely. So a 1-2-3 inning for Kubo as he continues on strong. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base, and a 10-1 Sugarland lead. As a new pitcher on for Southern Maryland again, Shane Watson will come on for the top of the 6th. Matt Chavez leads it off when we return to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Fans, is your family or work holiday party looking for a venue this coming fall or winter? Look no further than the newly renovated Legends Club at Regency Furniture Stadium, brought to you by the Blue Crabs. Numerous food and drink options and great flexible features mean the Legends Club will make your event the hit of the season. Call a sales executive today at 301-638-9788 for more information or visit somdbluecrabs.com.
This is Austin Green from the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Join us every Tuesday home game as we turn 2 with our new Double Play Tuesdays. These nights, tickets are buy one, get one free in the box office, as well as BOGO on select items at the concession stands. For more information or to get tickets today, please visit us online at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788.
Hey, this is Drake Britton, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Shane Watson, the new pitcher on for the Blue Crabs here. As we head to the top of the 6th, Watson will face the 5-6-7 in the lineup for the Skeeters. As his first pitch, a fastball to Matt Chavez, swung on and missed in the count at no balls and 1 strike. So, Andrew, last inning you asked me the trivia question. Can you give it to me one more time?
Yes, so the starting pitcher for the Skeeters, Yasatomo Kubo, was the Rookie of the Year in 2005 in the Japanese Nippon League. Can you name me 4 very notable pitchers? I'll give you, as this ball will cross, I'll give you a couple of their accolades to make it so you understand how great these pitchers were. 3 of the 4 were all-stars that have also won that Rookie of the Year award, and
One was not, although I was very surprised he wasn't. Between the four of them, they have 2 World Series rings, as well as an ALCS MVP and a Rookie of the Year in the MLB.
As this one's fouled off, the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Chavez. So I've got a guess for you after Chavez's at-bat finishes.
All I'm asking is that you name 2 of them.
You're asking for 2 of them?
All 4 if you can, but the trivia is 2 of them.
Breaking ball, cold strike right down the middle as that bender freezes Chavez, and he's down looking. So Watson starts his night with a strikeout, a good start for him. Are they all pitchers?
They are all pitchers.
So that eliminates one of my guesses then. Nori Aoki was one of my guesses.
That's a very good guess.
Did he win Rookie of the Year over there?
He did, actually. He did. He did.
Sweet. As Watson comes set for the first pitch to Juan Silverio. He kicks and delivers. This one's fouled off. So I'm going to go with Hideo Nomo.
Correct.
That's probably the oldest I'm going to be able to get. So
Can you give me the year on that or no? That's a lot to ask.
What year he won over there?
Yeah, he also won Rookie of the Year in the MLB. But what year do you think he won it over there?
As the 0-1 is right down the middle for a called strike, 0-2. Give me 1991.
Very close, 1990.
I believe he won MLB Rookie of the Year in 95 or 96.
I'd have to double check on that, but that sounds about right.
As Watson is ready for the 0-2. Breaking ball. That one's hammered towards left field. Teodoro going back. That'll hit off the wall. Rounding first is Silverio, but he'll throw the brakes on and cruise back into the bag. So a long and loud single for Juan Silverio, his second hit of the game. Good news, I confirmed that Nomo was in fact Rookie of the Year in 95. That was for the Dodgers. So Nomo is 1.
Correct.
Daisuke's got to be 1. Matsuzaka's got to be 1.
Correct, but he was the one, actually, that never got an MLB All-Star.
He got a lot of hype and was successful very early, but he tailed off very quickly.
He did. He had a poor end of his career.
When you look at Daisuke Matsuzaka's stats, it very quickly jumped off of a cliff.
I agree. Yeah, he was.
Albert Cordero takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
He was so good, and then all of a sudden it fell off. He was also one of the 2 that won a World Series.
He was part of that Red Sox World Series team, the second Red Sox World Series team, to further that. As ready for the 1-0, kicks and delivers. A fastball is swung on and missed, and the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So if he's not the one, if he's the one that doesn't have an MLB All-Star, that eliminates Ohtani for sure. So give me Masahiro Tanaka.
Correct. And so at this point, you've already won the trivia. This is just for bonus points. Tanaka won it in 2007 in the Nippon League.
As Watson ready for the 1-1, a breaking ball is swung on and missed, and the count at 1-2. He has that breaking ball working to this point thus far. It's looking very good. He's gotten the strikeout on it already. And is it a reliever or a starter?
It's a starter, I believe.
I wanted to guess Koji Uehara. As the 1-2 is swung on and missed, and down on strikes is Cordero. Watson blows a fastball by him, and that will put 2 down in the inning, both via the strikeout. The last 5 outs for the Blue Crabs have been recorded by way of the strikeout.
I was trying to throw you off. The answer was Koji Uehara. So you got 4 for 4. Very impressive.
Koji Uehara was teammates with Daisuke, actually, in Boston.
He was.
As the first pitch, there's that nasty breaking ball Watson's got a great feel for tonight as it catches the inside corner to Phipps, a called strike. In fairness, I'm looking at Koji Uehara's stats right now. After I guessed it, I looked it up to see if he was a starter or a reliever. He did start in his first year in the MLB in 2009 with Baltimore. He made 12 starts at the age of 34.
Huh.
And then he moved to the bullpen and was relatively successful with Baltimore, as well as Texas and then Boston. Even last year, at the age of 42, Koji Uehara 3-4 with a 3.98 ERA.
Is that back in the Nippon League?
No, that was with the Cubs.
Well, I guess I would need to get up on my Cubs relievers. It's harder to stay
He
in.
is back in Japan right now. He's in the Japan Central League with Yomiuri, and he's struggling. He's 0-5 with a 4.33 in 28 games this year. He's back with the team in which he started his career with in Japan with the Yomiuri Giants, I believe. Yep, Giants. As this one misses in the count at 1-2.
But it's very interesting to see how the game of baseball has evolved, and really many countries have started to send very good talent to the MLB. Japan, a front runner in that conversation.
2-2 is a towering pop-up towards right field. Sonko will camp underneath it and make the catch. Hideo Nomo has a big part to do with the Japanese talent. He was one of the first to come over, and he proved what the Japanese could do at this level, and he set the table for the other guys we mentioned, Uehara, Daisuke, and of course, the superstar right now, Shohei Ohtani. We're through 5.5 here in game one of the doubleheader. The Skeeters have a comfortable 10-1 lead. The Blue Crabs will send the 3-4-5 up when we return to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, this is James Frisbee, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Blue Crabs fans, on Friday night, September 14th, the Blue Crabs will honor all of those brave men and women who risk their lives for ours every day as we host First Responders Night. First responders will receive special ticket discounts, and active and retired military can too, as it is the final Remember Everyone Deployed Friday night, brought to you by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. That night, the Blue Crabs will auction off their red jerseys for a worthwhile military charity. It's also College of Southern Maryland's 60th birthday bash, brought to you by College of Southern Maryland Alumni and Friends Connection. So whatever your reason, come finish the regular season with the Blue Crabs. Get your tickets today at somdbluecrabs.com or call 301-638-9788. Washington sports fans, rock your red, wear your curly W's, and break out your burgundy and gold for Washington Sports Night on Friday night, August 10th. That night, there will be a special Washington Sports t-shirt giveaway for the first fans in attendance, so arrive early, and don't miss a special appearance by the Racing Presidents from Nationals Park. To get your tickets today, stop by the E-Trepid box office, visit somdbluecrabs.com, or call 301-638-9788.
Hi, this is Ryan Chafee, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
3-4-5 back up to bat here in the bottom of the sixth as Yasutomo Kobo back to work here. Kicks and delivers a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike to Devin Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 1, a fly out and a walk. Andrew, in between innings, you asked the trivia question to our counterpart, Ira, over in Sugarland. How'd he do?
He did very well. He went for 4 for 4 as well.
As a changeup misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nomo really set the tone for MLB scouts taking Japan seriously with that 1995 Rookie of the Year. That immediately set the pace and made it an option, I guess, is the word that I'll use, that you could go to Japan and you could get talent out of there. As Devin Rodriguez swings through in the count 1-2. And Nomo it's not like he didn't have competition for Rookie of the Year in that 1995 season. There's a pretty notable guy that finished second as Hall of Famer as of about a week ago, Chipper Jones, finished second in that Rookie of the Year, and then Jones ended up winning MVP 4 years later in 99.
You know, I think some of that has to do, and we're all guilty of it, at least I know I am, is that I think we just kind of assume that in an American sport such as baseball that maybe American-born players are going to be better, and that's just not the case. And it's been proven time and time again as you see not just baseball, but basketball and football evolve.
Dirk is a big leader of what can be done in Europe for basketball. Dirk has a pop-up on the mound. Kubo being called off by the third baseman, Silverio. As you see, maybe a language barrier get in the way there, but Kubo makes the catch, apologizes to Silverio. Silverio apologizes to him. But either way, you've got one out on the board. But you see Dirk and Kristaps Porzingis and Goran Dragic in the NBA advocating for Luka Doncic as he comes into the league, saying that he can do it.
I mean, when you look at baseball, I think especially the case has never been stronger. Now, Japan players they've made their case, but when you have a guy like Ohtani coming in and he's being compared to Babe Ruth, that's when things really get a little bit interesting, because people are going to take note of that. They're going to be like, well, there's no way. And Tanaka,
At the end of the day, Tanaka and Hiyashi Iwakuma and a couple of the other guys, Nori Aoki was somebody we talked about earlier, can only get you so far. But a guy that transcends baseball and makes a lot of noise because he can pitch and he can hit and he can do both very, very well. And they were worried that he wasn't going to be able to hit at this league, and then he's come out and just hit home runs. And obviously he's had the pitching concern, elbow issues, but he's been cleared to resume throwing. He's going to get back to throwing here soon. He's proven right away that he can do both, and do both at not just a high level, the highest level. The MLB is the highest level of baseball.
And do it very well. I mean, it's as Griffin fouls went off, but it's so impressive because I don't think anybody thinks that anybody can do that, because it's just not something that is able to be done. I mean,
well, we're taught here to pick. That your best chance is to pick. It's specialization is your best way out, and you do that at a young age. And that's not just pitching and hitting. It's all sports. I mean, we all know what the term PO is. When I say you're a PO, it means you're a pitcher only. As the 1-2 kicks and delivers, Griffin with a hot shot down the third baseline. That's going to be down potentially for extra bases. Griffin around first on his way to second. It'll take a wicket hop past Hawkins and is aboard with a stand-up double. But from a young age, you hear the term you're a PO, so that means you just pitch. And that's your best way to have a shot to get a college scholarship, because realistically, you do want to be professional, but most of the time, kids growing up just want college paid for. It's a way to get to college. And so you specialize. You don't play football, basketball, and baseball the same way some of the guys used to. You just pick one, and you get really, really good at that one sport.
Right. I mean, you almost look at it like you look back at a couple of guys that have played two professional sports, like Bo Jackson, for example. But, I mean, it's kind of the same type of thing. It's something our whole lives you've been told you can't do that, and then somebody going out and doing it
piques your interest. Michael Jordan was told to specialize, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he made the wrong choice. He clearly made the right choice, but at the end of the day, he sat back one day and went, you know what, I really like baseball. They told me I couldn't play because I had to pick one, but I want to play baseball. So he did.
Tim Tebow trying to do the same type of thing. I mean, a lot of guys are getting that idea and running with it, and it's working out for them.
You look at Brandon Whedon from quarterback a while back that ended up being a 28-year-old rookie in the NFL because he played professional baseball and then went back to college and played football and got drafted by the Browns.
And more you hear of late of guys getting drafted both in the NFL and the MLB.
Jeff Driscoll was a guy that played quarterback after pitching as the 1-1 is fouled back and the count at 1-2. Driscoll was a quarterback at Florida. You see Manziel went in the MLB and NFL draft. Russell Wilson's making headlines going to Yankees camp, stuff like that.
Back in the 2012 draft when center fielder for the Skeeters, Barrett Barnes, was drafted 45th. Left fielder Courtney Hawkins was drafted 13th, and Shane Watson, the pitcher last inning, was drafted 40th. In the 15th round of that draft, Jameis Winston, the quarterback for the Buccaneers.
And the closer for Florida State
was drafted in the MLB.
I got to watch Jameis pitch in college for that 1 year as Martinez sends a ground ball up the middle, backhanded, and a throw across the body from Jan Santi as he'll retire Martinez. Griffin will advance to third on the play. I got the pleasure of watching Winston close a game and hit, actually. He was doing both for Florida State. They came down to USF for a 3-game series, and Winston pitched in 2 of those 3 games because he was serving as the closer with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, you look at this draft, and you've got a first-round pick that's signed, nonetheless, for $4.4 million, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is at the top of the depth chart right now for Oklahoma. He's supposed to be the one that takes over for number 1 pick Baker Mayfield, and he's going to. As Kubo, ready for the first pitch to Angelo Sonko, delivers a fastball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Murray has said he's going to play this junior year of football, and then he's going to report to the A's. He's already signed his contract. He's going to Oakland, but first he wants to play football.
I wonder how the A's feel about that, to be honest. I mean,
I don't think they would have offered him $4.4 million if they weren't happy about it. You know that was discussed. As a fastball misses low in the count at 2 balls and no strikes. There's not a doubt in my mind that that was discussed.
Oh.
And Murray said, I'm going to play football. And the A's went, okay, well, if you get hurt, you're in a lot of trouble with us.
Right, but the fact of the matter is he's already been paid that money. So
it was not a guaranteed contract. So the A's, I believe, have full right to withdraw that at some point if something happens to that. As fastball misses low, 3-0. There's probably, I don't know it, I didn't look at the contract, but I'm sure there's some clause in there that gave the A's an option out if something happens to Murray at Oklahoma. And realistically, if Murray gets pulled from a game, you know how starters in college football get pulled sometimes, or, get handed a different, they'll hand the job over to somebody else because it's just not working. Murray at any point can go, I don't want a quarterback anymore. I've got this waiting for me.
I thought you said it was a 4.4 signing bonus. Is that what you said, or is that a contract?
No, that's his contract.
So that's where I was getting that, well, he's already been paid.
No, that's his contract. 3-1 the count to Sonko. Blue Crabs got Griffin 90 feet away from putting another run on the board. They have one back in the second as fastball on the outside corner, a called strike, and the count will run full. Sonko disagrees. So briefly mentioned Chipper Jones, the Hall of Famer, a couple of minutes ago, and I pulled up his stats. Chipper Jones appeared after that 95 year, appeared in 5 All-Star games over the next 6 seasons. The only time he didn't get voted to the All-Star game was in 1999 when he won the MVP award.
Huh. You see that happen sometimes when you look back at guys' numbers. They don't get All-Stars, but they get the MVP. It's strange.
Payoff pitch upcoming, a fastball swung on and missed as Kuba will strike out Sonko, and that will retire the side here in the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base for the Blue Crabs in the frame. Kubo is through 6. As we head to the 7th, Shane Watson will head back out to the mound when we return to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Blue Crabs fans, every season we can't do it without you. So on Sunday, September 16th for the regular season finale, it's Fan Appreciation Day. This night will feature a special t-shirt giveaway, as well as a pregame team autograph session and postgame Kids Run the Bases. Stop by the Regency Furniture Stadium box office, call 301-638-9788, or visit somdbluecrabs.com today to get your tickets.
Hey kids, are you ready to be a superhero? Join us September 1st for Superhero Night, presented by Pump It Up of Waldorf. This night you will receive your very own superhero cape to help Pinch and the Blue Crabs defeat the Road Warriors. The night will also feature a post-game fireworks spectacular. Get your tickets today at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at
Hey, this is David Wayne Russo, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
9-1-2 will face Shane Watson here in the top of the 7th as Watson blows a fastball by Alvaro Rondon for strike 1 here to start what is the final scheduled inning here in Game 1. You've got Game 2 coming up 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. If things stay on the right track, that game should start around 8 p.m. Craig Stem will match up with Craig Sitton. Different spellings, though. Craig Sitton, K-R-A-I-G. Craig Stem, C-R-A-I-G. 0-2 from Watson, a fastball. This one's rolled weakly down the first baseline. It'll get a little bit wide of the bag, and the count will remain at no balls and 2 strikes.
That's the crazy thing. I mean, we're talking last inning about how the pitcher Shane Watson was drafted in the same draft as Barrett Barnes on the Skeeters, and on the left fielder Courtney Hawkins, same first round. And then, you talk about 2 Craigs, is crazy stuff in baseball. And I know I talk about the Iowa Cubs a lot, but this is relevant. I mean,
there are a lot of Iowa Cubs in this game as the 0-2. A breaking ball is swung. Will Smother now pick it up and toss it to first for the strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Shane Watson, and that's the 8th overall in this game. You had 2 from the starter, Brett Marshall, and then from the relievers, Britton and Watson, you've had 7 outs, 6 of them via the punch-out. But take back over your Iowa Cubs as Barrett Barnes digs in.
As 5 Iowa Cubs on the 2015 roster are playing in this game. Anthony Jansanti, Drake Britton, James Russell, Dallas Beeler, and Felipe Paulino, I guess, not playing but on the rosters.
As this one misses in the count at 1 ball and no strikes. Paulino, the closer, you're not going to see him in this game with how things are working out to this point. The 1-0. Watson kicks and delivers a fastball in the inside corner, 1-1. Who were the other ones you listed? We saw Britton. We saw Jansanti.
And we will see Beeler tomorrow. Dallas Beeler's one of them. James Russell, another bullpen guy for the Skeeters, and then Felipe Paulino.
Yep. As the 1-1 is sent out towards left, a high fly ball off the bat of Barnes. Martinez will put his head down to avoid having to watch that one sail out of here. A solo home run off the bat of Barrett Barnes, and Sugarland adds another. It's 11-1 here in the top of the 7th.
I think some of that piling it on, I don't think the Skeeters have done it in a disrespectful way whatsoever. I mean,
they've just hit.
Right.
I mean, we're 6 1/3 into this game, and they have 14 hits. They've just hit the ball, and it's been a lot of singles, honestly. You look back, and you've got the home run there, but other than that, they only have 1 extra base hit, and it was a double from Jansanti. As a fastball misses to Jansanti, and that one will run the count to 1 ball and no strikes.
Regardless, and you mentioned it. It's not a disrespectful manner, but it really gives you a chip on your shoulder heading into the back end of this doubleheader.
As this one's fouled off, 1-1. There's a reason these Sugarland Skeeters won the first half Freedom Division and are winning the second half as well. And they're actually going to pad their lead a little bit with this win. It'll put them at 4.5 games over the Lancaster Barnstormers in the second half. They're going to move to 18-9 if they finish out this one, which I'd imagine they'll hold on to a 10-run lead. But I guess you never know, as Watson blows a fastball by him here. You look around the rest of the Atlantic League. We mentioned there was a game earlier. The rest of action getting underway now. The New Britain Bees put up 8 runs against the York Revolution. That game is in the bottom of the 2nd. So New Britain put up 8 in the first inning as York's Dominic Severino struggled mightily again as a curveball swung on and missed, and down on strikes goes Jansanti. So now 4 strikeouts for Watson. Severino, with the Blue Crabs, saw him on Friday, and he couldn't get out of the first inning of that game, giving up 6 to Southern Maryland in that inning. And then tonight he only goes a third of an inning and gives up 7 to the New Britain Bees. So Severino has run into a very, very tough stretch of 2 games. The other game going on, the Road Warriors with a 1-0 lead over the Lancaster Barnstormers. That one just in the bottom of the first at Clipper Magazine Stadium, a 7:05 start there. as Derek Norris fouls one off here, 0 for 1.
I was looking back at the box score of that game last night between the Road Warriors and the Barnstormers. That game ended at 12:35 a.m. and went into extras, but there was a rain delay in between.
As a fastball misses inside. I'm going to read you the final play of this game, and you tell me what happened, because that was a crazy game.
It was wild.
I also kept up with it. So you head to the 13th inning in a 6-6 game. The Road Warriors put up one. They take a 7-6 lead as Watson kicks and delivers low and away, 2-1. The final play of that game, in the bottom of the 13th, you've got Ryan Castile singles, Jimmy Paredes walks, Casey Hobson singles. Bases loaded, nobody out. They're down 1. Paredes advances to third. Castile scores. Earned. Wild pitch. Jimmy Paredes scores. Error by the catcher. As this one is hammered off the bat of Norris, another no-doubt home run, as Sugarland has their second home run in the inning. Another solo shot, this one off the bat of Derek Norris, and the score is now 12.
And that's something I was going to mention at some point in this game. It didn't seem relevant because there had been no home runs prior to this inning, but this is a team that hits a lot of long balls. This Skeeters team by far and away leads the league with 86 home runs on the season, and the Blue Crabs don't have as much power. The Skeeters rely on the long ball. They're 18-43 when they don't hit a home run. They ended up getting a couple in this game, but the long ball can be a big factor in terms of will this be a win or a loss for the Skeeters.
This man a big part of that as Courtney Hawkins digs in and takes low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Although he's been silent today, 0 for 4, the only Skeeter without a hit, he does have 18 home runs on the season. But back to that Lancaster game for a second. So you've got a wild pitch that scores the tying run, and then I didn't get to see the video. I couldn't find it as a fastball misses high 2-0. But what happened where the error on the catcher allowed Paredes to score from second to walk that off?
I think it was I think the catcher threw the ball away. I think that's what happened.
I didn't get the chance to see it. As the 2-0 upcoming, a fastball on the outside corner. We'll put the count at 2 balls and 1 strike. But either way, that's just a roller coaster of a final inning.
I mean, you see Lancaster in the past week have a 13-inning game go to 12:35 a.m., then 16 innings, 7 innings scheduled game last week here.
As this one's laced through the left side. A single off the bat of Courtney Hawkins, as he's no longer the only Skeeter without a hit, so all 9 batters have picked up or contributed in some way to the now 16 hits Sugarland has on the board. That is not the most the Blue Crabs have allowed in a game, though. That is 19 to the Lancaster Barnstorm. I think if this game goes the full 9 innings, Sugarland might challenge, but I would hope that they will not challenge in this one. The most runs they've allowed, or excuse me, it was 20. The most hits they allowed was 20, and it came in an early season blowout to Long Island. That game got out of hand very quickly. That was a 27-9 final score. So Long Island holds pretty much most of the records for what opponents have done to the Blue Crabs this year off of that game on the 4th of May, I believe.
You don't see a lot of games that have 36 combined runs in the ball game. Or did you say 27? So I guess
27-9.
I was thinking 29.
So yes, 36. You were right. As this one's flared out towards shallow center. Broken bat single for Matt Chavez. He's aboard with his 3rd hit of the day. That'll move Hawkins up into scoring position. So you had it right, 36 combined runs, which I talked about it the next day. 9 runs is a pretty solid offensive output.
It is.
And you lost by 18.
I mean, the average team in a, let's say, 120-game season is probably going to have south of 20 games with at least 9 runs. So in a game where you're able to put up 9, it's just too bad when that's not enough.
So first and second, 2 outs, and Juan Silverio digs in as Watson's first pitch to him. Fastball right by him for a strike, and the count at 0-1. He was very late on that.
Juan Silverio, another former Iowa Cub. Roster. Those 5 I previously mentioned were just on that 2015 roster.
The 0-1 upcoming. That one's fouled off, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Of those 5 you mentioned, Paulino and Russell, as well as Dallas Beeler, Drake Britton, all have MLB experience. Jan Santee is the only one that topped out at Iowa. As the 0-2 is sent towards second, Nina will field. He'll flip on to first, and that will retire the side. But 2 solo home runs at a pair. 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. As we will head to the bottom of the 7th, what should be the last half inning of Game 1, and then we'll head to a 30-minute break before the start of Game 2. Corey Vaughn will lead off this bottom of the 7th when we return to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Dr. Milu and the courteous and professional staff at Cancer and Blood Disorders Treatment Center in Waldorf want you to know that for cases of cancer and blood disorders such as anemia, leukemia, and lymphoma, you don't have to travel all the way to D.C. or Baltimore to get high-quality, compassionate care close to home. Established in 1995, Cancer and Blood Disorders Treatment Center offers expertise, experience, and the highest standards needed for successful treatment of cancer and blood disorders. Dr. Milu is excited to be a part of the Blue Crabs family as the new sponsor of the Silver Sluggers program and games for the 2017 season. For more information or to schedule a consultation, call 301-638-1007 or visit cancerandblooddisorderscenter.com.
This is Devin Rodriguez from the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Join us every Tuesday home game as we turn 2 with our new Double Play Tuesdays. These nights, tickets are buy one, get one free in the box office, as well as buy one, get one on select items at the concession stands. For more information or to get tickets today, please visit us online at somdbluecrabs.com or call us at 301-638-9788. Hey, this is Ryan Strasburger, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Back here in Southern Maryland as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Corey Vaughn will lead things off as he takes a big cut on the first pitch fastball from the new pitcher for Sugarland, Mark Haynes, will take over here in the bottom of the 7th as the count will go to 0-1 on Vaughn. So the day is done for Yasutomo Kubo. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. He struck out 6 and walked 3 on the day. So a good outing for him in his 5th of the year, as he should pick up his 2nd win, as well as drop his ERA, as this one misses 1-1. Haynes, the big right-hander, 6'2", 205, out of Kansas City, Missouri. He'll turn 32 in just about a month. His birthday on the 17th of next month, as a check swing misses low, 2-1.
Haynes, they call the Punisher, is what I'm told is his nickname around the clubhouse. Haynes, a perfect ERA to this point through 7 appearances, a 1-0 record, 5 walks to 8 strikeouts.
The 2-1 upcoming as Vaughn hammers one towards left. That ball's punished. A solo home run. So maybe that's why they call him that. As Vaughn ends the perfect ERA and adds to his team-high home run total, puts one on the board for the Blue Crabs as they now only trail 12-2. But for Vaughn, still a big home run for him, as that will give him 12 on the season, now 29 RBIs, and most importantly, his second hit of the game. That'll bring in Angelise Nina. Nina 0 for 1, excuse me. He walked in his first at-bat. As this one misses low, and the count at 1 ball and no strikes. I was corrected, 30 RBIs on the season for Vaughn. I forgot about his RBI single back in the second, so Vaughn gets up to an even 30.
Big day for Vaughn.
Big game 1. We're hoping he'll add to that tally in game 2. I'm expecting him to remain in the lineup as a foul ball is back. 1-1 goes the count. The other thing I'm expecting, I was told that Ryan Strasburger could return from whatever was bugging him in his leg. I believe it was a hamstring, but I'm expecting Strasburger to return to the lineup in game 2 as well. 1-1, a changeup right there, but called a bit high by the home plate umpire, Derek Motion. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's another really good source of RBIs to add back to your lineup in Strasburger.
2-1, a big swing, but foul tipped back as the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So you mentioned Haynes had the perfect ERA. That's the first run he's allowed in now 6 1/3 innings. The Skeeters have 2 that remain, or that came into today with the perfect ERA. Gene Machi was the other one, as Nina fouls that off. And the count will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Not a whole lot of guys that you have to worry necessarily, have a serious worry about losing your perfect ERA on a leadoff in an inning. Corey Vaughn is one of those guys.
That ball was a no-doubter off the bat for Vaughn. As the MLB games have started to get underway as well. As we head into the 7:30 hour, Nina fouls that one off. Got some early action in the local Orioles game that just popped up. It is 2-2 between the Orioles and the Rays in the bottom of the first. Looks like Tim Beckham might have hit a solo home run in that game. Against his former team, no less. Haynes ready for the 2-2 to Nina as he kicks and delivers a big swing, fouled back. And the count will remain at 2-2. Beckham pretty much guaranteed a starting spot in that Orioles lineup with the trade of Manny Machado. It really frees up shortstop for the former highly touted prospect in the Rays organization.
He's a good young player. He's another guy that's a lot of fun to watch. A lot of young guys in baseball right now that are, you know, they're going to be so exciting as they grow up.
A changeup misses low, and the count will run full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
We talked about Hideo Nomo earlier, him pitching his first time in the MLB at the age of 30.
As Nina will foul this one off. Out of play the other way.
And you just mentioned Gene Machi, the bullpen pitcher for the Skeeters. Gene Machi had a similar story. He pitched 13 years in the minors for 5 different MLB-affiliated teams. The Devil Rays at the time, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Pirates, and the Giants, before finally making his MLB debut, and he threw 5 seasons in the MLB.
Ready for the payoff pitch is Haynes to Nina. It's sent right back up the middle. Haynes with a reaction stop as he'll flip it over to first, and Nina is down for out number 1. You called Tim Beckham young, the former number 1 overall pick back in 2008. Beckham feels very young, doesn't he?
The name, yeah, you haven't.
He hasn't been around for that long because honestly, he was kind of written off in the Rays organization as kind of a busted number 1 overall pick, but then in 2015 15. He ended up coming up and playing in 82 games. He was 25 years old, though. He's 28 now with the Orioles, so not old by any stretch, but not necessarily that young either. I think he's somebody that you may see the Orioles flip here next year if he can get some of that power back. I mentioned the solo home run tonight. If he can get some power back, I think the Orioles might look to flip him and try to use that as a building block moving forward in this full rebuild mode they're in.
And they're going to be a team if half of the prospects that they've gotten just this season are going to pan out, they're going to be exciting to watch in the next couple of years.
0-2 up, coming to Jose Gonzalez as that misses low in the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, the pitching has always been the problem for the Orioles when you look back. They've had some offense over the years. The pitching has never been there, so you'd imagine that's going to be a priority as they move forward.
I was asked to name some of the Orioles' starting pitchers on opening day throughout the last 20 years the other day as Gonzalez swings over a changeup and he's down on strikes. So Haynes picks up the strikeout. And it was relatively difficult, to be honest. You're looking at guys like Dylan Bundy, Kevin Gossman, Chris Tillman had a lot of those opening day starts. Kevin Millwood had a couple of those opening day starts. And you're talking Millwood, a guy that was 3rd or 4th on the Atlanta Braves rotation, behind Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz and Denny Nagel and Mike Hampton. And then you go to Baltimore and you're number 1. That's just kind of surprising, honestly.
The pitching has just never been there. And in the AL East, if you want to compete against those potent offenses, you have to have some sort of pitching.
As a fastball misses low and away, 1 ball and no strikes to Teodoro Martinez, who digs in as the last hope here in Game 1. It would be quite a rally if he could start one. It would need 10 runs to cross the plate. As Haynes is looking to shut the door here, he kicks and delivers a fastball low in the count at 2 balls and no strikes.
Teodoro trying to reach base for the first time on the day. He's one of the best hitters in the league when it comes to hitting at home and trying to raise that average a little bit here.
There's no doubt the AL East, though, going back to that for a second, is going to be very interesting to watch over the next 5 to 10 years as the 2-0 is fouled off out of play, 2-1. The Rays just always seem to be 3rd in that division. I don't know how it happens, but they're always there.
They are.
You can't write them off. But they're going to go at the bottom of my list because you've got the Orioles flipping all this prospects, and you've got all these guys coming in, so we'll see what happens with that. Then you look at the Blue Jays. You've got Bo Bichette, one of the top-rated shortstops, and, of course, the number 1 overall prospect, hitting bombs Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as Teo fouls one off 2-2. So they're going to build around Bichette and Guerrero and see what happens there. You've got the Red Sox, who, frankly, have turned into a Yankee-esque team where they can not only rebuild, but also restock and reload at the same time signing people. Their outfield's very young. Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts, and Andrew Benintendi could be really good for a really long time. As the chopper to third here is handled by Silverio. He'll fire across to first, and that will do it here in Game 1. To finish off, you've got the Yankees, who, of course, can buy and build with the best of them. Gleyber Torres coming up. But the final score here in Game 1, 12-2. Mark Haynes finishes it off. The win will go to Yasutomo Kobo. 6 innings for him. He'll go to 2-0 on the season. The loss will go to Brett Marshall. He drops to 2-5 in his time with the Blue Crabs as his former team gets the better of him here in Game 1. 12-2, 12 runs on 17 hits, no errors for Sugarland. 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for the Blue Crabs. So we've got about a 30-minute break. I'm being told 8:15 is going to be the official start time of Game 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to step away. We're going to reset the broadcast, and we'll have a new stream up and going for Game 2. Craig Stem versus Craig Sitton. We'll get you that right back here in 30 minutes on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. Thanks for joining us for Game 1, and we'll see you right back.